Psychologica is an integrated approach to development, with survey tools and practitioner materials to help develop individuals, teams and whole organizations. This video shows the second step in the survey setup process: how to customize your survey items and projects. In this video, we're going to look at customizing surveys. Customization is an option which is only available on certain products and is only accessible to practitioners who have been set up to access this feature. This is in order to maintain the validity of all Psychologica products. If you wish to customize your surveys and you have some knowledge of psychometrics, please get in touch with us and we can set you up. Okay, the first step is to set up a new project as shown in the video on step 1. So we need to select a product which is customizable, and you will find a choice of these in the drop-down menu if you are set up to customize surveys. So we're going to choose 360 customizable, and here's a description of what it can do. If you already have existing templates, you can use one here and build on it. So we're going to use a particular template. Let's try this one. Check use template. Okay, and that's set up. So minimum number of assessors to launch a survey report. Let's put in 2. Survey launch date, say today. And close date, say a month. Okay, so moving on to step 2. How to customize your survey. All survey products, whether customizable or standard, are based on the Psychologica model, and it's helpful to remind yourself, check the link here, about the model, what it does, how it works, how it integrates together across the product range. A brief review of the model and how it works will help you understand the logic of customizing surveys and also help in the feedback process to really understand how the different elements work together within our human makeup. So, the basic model consists of 3 main capacities which we all share: our mental abilities, our ability to manage emotions, and our tangible actions and outcomes. These overlap in our behavior, creating secondary dimensions such as communication, combination of thinking and emotional engagement with others, organization processes, where we use our thinking skills to develop strategies and determine outcomes, and processes of adaptation, where we may change our behaviors or manage our emotions in order to achieve particular outcomes. Within each of these dimensions are a number of sub-dimensions, a number of competency areas, skills and abilities which help us be successful in these areas. And within each of these there are 3 dimensions. And central to all of this are our personal qualities, our personal style, which influences our behaviors within each of these areas. More information on using the model from a coaching perspective is available in our companion video on interpreting and feeding back reports. Something which is notable straight away is the integrated nature of the model and the fact that skills and abilities can be seen as occurring in a spectrum rather than as being differentiated competencies which are boxed off from one another. This integrated view of human behavior doesn't translate easily into a database format. So the following slide is to give an idea of how you can interpret the model in this linear way. So we have a competency database underpinning the project management platform. These are divided into the skills dimensions that we've just been looking at and the qualities which underpin those skills. Within each main skill category are the sub-dimensions, 3 within each, which we've just looked at, And then breaking that down even further, here we can see the 3 subdimensions. We have a number of skill areas underneath each subdimension. You can't see these here in detail because there are so many of them, but we will look at these in a moment when we go back to the platform. So you can see there's a huge amount of skill area underpinning the database. And within each of these areas are a number of survey items that you can choose from to load onto your questionnaire. Okay, let's go back to the project management platform and give it a try. So step 2 is where you select your survey items or create new ones in order to populate your survey. So the first window we're looking at relates to questionnaire items. We can see here the categories which we mentioned when looking at the previous slides, and we can see the various dimensions and qualities at that level. So each time we look at a category or choose one, we'll see a definition of what that category refers to. Okay, let's go back to thinking style. So below this we have the 3 dimensions of thinking style: problem solving, learning and creativity, and rational analysis. And again, whichever one we choose, we'll see a definition of what that relates to. So in this example, let's go with problem solving and decision making. Okay, the third level are the skill areas that we saw, and there are a number of them below each dimension, various amounts according to the dimension itself. In this case, let's have a look at decisiveness. And again, we'll see a definition of what we mean by decisiveness in this context. So once we've selected the skill area, we can see at the bottom here the various items within the database that relate to that area. And we can see each item has a wording according to whether it's directed at the 360 target or whether it's directed at the assessors who are assessing that target. So you select an item by ticking the box using survey. If you're using an existing template, you will already have some items which have been ticked previously, which you may want to add to or change. You can customize specific items that already exist by double-clicking on them and changing the wording as appropriate, perhaps customizing them to suit specific organizational language or jargon. You can also insert new items created specifically for this survey by entering text, the wording for the target, and possibly a different wording for the assessor. Generally speaking, it's best to use the same wording for both if you word it in such a way that it makes sense from both perspectives. So insert that new item and tick it to include it in the survey. So carry on doing that for other skill areas and for other categories and dimensions that you want to include within your survey. And at any point, you can see how your survey is shaping up by pressing on the preview button and selecting whether you want to see target or assessor survey. Both should be similar, and you'll get an idea of what the assessors will actually see when they receive and open their survey link. So, welcome to the survey. Some information on how to fill in the survey, how to score, and a little bit of advice on that as an introduction. And then we can see page 1 of the survey and the items that we've already included. Now each page relates to one of the main categories of the psychological model. So there can be up to 9 pages of this type. And within each page there's an information icon at the top which will show the user, will give the user an overall definition of that overall dimension to create some kind of context and some kind of framing for the contents within each survey page. They can score each item on a scale of 1 to 7 or press Don't Know. Don't Know responses are not included in the survey scoring. And there's a legend at the bottom of each survey page which tells them what a score means. And there's also a progress bar which will show them where they are within the survey and give them some idea of how long it's likely to take them. And they can save and return to their survey at any point in time, or submit it when they're ready to. Okay. So as you continue to populate your new survey, you can continue updating your preview by using this new button which should have appeared at the top here. A crucial point to bear in mind when you're customizing a survey is something called construct validity. In the report which will be produced, the score will be in relation to this definition of this skill area that we're working in at the moment: decisiveness, making considered and sound decisions quickly without the need to consult others. Any item which you add to the survey, or any existing item which you change, has still got to refer to this underlying construct. It needs to be a measure of this competency, as this is what the report will be showing. Okay, another neat feature of the customization process is the ability to run 360s aimed at individuals at different levels within the organization simultaneously as part of a program. So for example, you can set up a survey which is aimed at people at a leadership level, or at a managerial level, or at a supervisory level, an operator level, or some other level within the organization. All of these individuals have to use decisiveness in their work to some degree, but the types of issues which are relevant to a leader or someone at board level in terms of their decision making are going to be somewhat different to those at someone at a supervisory level. And this is where you have the opportunity to draw on some existing competency items which have been arrayed under these different areas, or you can add to core items which will be seen by anyone at any level within the organization. So for example, if you set up a survey which has a number of items at leadership level and a number of items at management level or supervisory level and core level, then the individual target who responds to that and the people that survey and assess that individual will be seeing items that relate to the level that you specified for that individual when you set up the 360 survey process. And remember that core items are seen by everyone. So if in doubt, and if you don't have a need to tailor surveys for a particular organizational level, it's always better to work with and customize items at the core level. Okay, moving to the top of the page, you see 3 tabs. We've been working on survey items, which is the first tab, but we've also got the opportunity to insert or change open-ended questions within the survey. Open-ended questions are free text responses which aren't rated like other items within the survey. These allow respondents to give the opportunity to provide opinions to broader questions such as what should I stop doing from the target's point of view, or from the assessor's point of view, what would I like this person to stop doing, or alternatively, what should I carry on doing, what would I like this person to carry on doing. So by default in a 360 survey, these appear at the end of the survey and they appear at the end of the final output report. And when you're setting them up for a 360, the options available to you, or the options to create new open-ended items, all occur under the thinking style dimension, the first one you come across, so you don't need to change that. If you're setting up a different kind of survey, such as a self-reflections report, then you have the opportunity to create open-ended items for each of the dimensions of the survey, and those questions will appear at the end of that section as the respondent goes through the survey. However, like the 360s, the overall comments will appear at the end of the report, but arranged in a manner a little like a personal development plan relating to the key areas of the model and the key areas of development for that individual. Okay, the third tab available to us for customization relates to derived scores. So derived scores do not include any extra survey items or open-ended questions. These are outputs in the final report that are constructed from responses that the individual has already made to existing survey items. They're merely interpreted in a different kind of way. So they provide additional charts and information showing higher order characteristics. These can include such things as likely overall leadership type, interpersonal style, strategic thinking style, and so on. So we have a choice of a number of different derived scores that you can incorporate into your survey and into the final outcome report. You're only able to use one. However, whichever one that you choose, click on that, press the question button, and you'll see a pop-up which shows the different dimensions from within the survey platform structure that load onto that derived output score. The point here is you need to include at least some items from each of these areas shown here in order to create an outcome derived score which is meaningful and valid. The process of this and the significance of what I've just said are explained in some detail on this page. Okay, so let's go back to customization. And really that's it. You're now ready to move on to the next step in the normal survey setup process. Now, as I'm sure you can appreciate, customizing surveys is an arduous and quite complex process and not one to be taken on lightly. The advantage of this, of course, is that you can design and create your own surveys using your own language and terminology, but based on the existing psychological model. And if you get in touch with us, there are ways that we can brand those surveys in order to represent your own organization or service. However, derived scores and other advantages are already built into some of the existing off-the-shelf products. So please contact us. We have a bureau service. We are able to customize surveys for you or perhaps recommend an existing product to meet your needs. I hope you found this video useful. Please check others in the series to help you access and use the Psychologica project management platform, or contact us for more details on development products and services. Bye for now.